Hello all, welcome to my channel. I'm your aspirant voice. Today going to discuss about Israel-Palestine conflict, its history and its whole story about it, and also some of the important facts that may be helpful for prelims as well as in mains. Let's get into the topic. First of all, let's understand the basic geography of Israel-Palestine. Let's consider this map. In this map, the Israel is the bigger part, and this shaded part is nothing but the Palestine region. Okay, let's discuss about the borders of Israel and important locations geographically which may come in examination. At the north of Israel, there are Golan Heights, which are the mountains which help strategically to Israel to confront with the Syria border. Later, the West Bank. This West Bank is called West Bank because it is in the west of the river Jordan that flows into the region, the river Jordan. So it is called as West Bank, and this West Bank region currently belongs to Palestine. And the Gaza Strip, which is the smallest part here, also belongs to Palestine. The country Jordan and Israel were separated by Dead Sea at one point. Of course, they share land border too, but the Dead Sea location is exactly between Jordan, Israel, and West Bank. That means the countries at the banks of Dead Sea are three countries. Those are Palestine, Israel, and Jordan. It is called the Dead Sea because it contains highest salinity. At the southern part of the Israel, there is a desert named Negev Desert. And here is the Jerusalem, the important part and the reason for the conflict recently in 2021. This Jerusalem part is under the control of United Nations administration because Jerusalem is the holy place for Jews, Arabs, Christians as well. Before getting into the story, let's understand the story of this holy land. This land, that is Jerusalem, also called, not only Jerusalem, the origin point of these religions, namely called as Israel, Canaan, Levant, Palestine, Promised Land, Al-Sham. It depends on the religions. Israel and Canaan, Levant were the terms given by the Jews. They call it with these names. Palestine, Al-Sham called by the Arabs. Promised Land called by Christians. Now let's get into the origin of the story. The origin started from by the time 14th century, when these locations are the part of Ottoman Empire, the Ottoman Empire. And this Ottoman Empire started weakening in 19th century. This is because nationalism rise in Europe. That is due to revolutions, wars, power hunger. Revolutions, in the 19th century especially, Europe has been clouded with communist ideologies and extremism against their own governments in France and other important European countries. And there were wars between many European countries. And there is a power hunger. This power hunger later resulted in World War I and II as well. The example of the time, Italy, Germany, France, British, Spain, and so on, all of them were facing this crisis, facing various revolutions, wars, and power hunger. That is, due to power hunger, the wars are resulted. This nationalism feeling raised in Jews too, by Theodor Herzl. He started Zionism. The main principle of Zionism is they demand Israel. Reason, this Jewish location is where, Jerusalem is where the Jews have born 3000 years ago. And another reason for the movement is in late 19th century, Jews were persecuted. That is due to religious differences. Because as a religion, Jew has 3000 years history, which is the oldest religion by that time known. After that, Christianity has raised. Now this raised Christianity attacked on Jews. In the same way, Arabs attacked Jews who established in 4th century. This religion, Islamism, started in 4th century. And all the three religions has believed Jerusalem as a holy site. Let's get into the topic. Let's understand the status of Jews during World War I. The Jew migration rapidly increased because Balfour Declaration by United Kingdom in 1917, they have given place in Palestine and established Palestine as home country for Jew. Always remember, in the world history, example, let's say in Indian history and Israel history, it is British created divide and rule policy. Due to this divide and rule policy, even today we have religious fights. So here we can understand that in the World War I, by the time it ends, British knew that Palestine is out of its hand. So they want to apply divide and rule. For that, they have given home country for Jews as established Palestine. But post World War I, this is during World War I, it is in 1979. 1 year later, that is after World War I, Sykes-Picot Agreement has been taken. In that, UK, France and Russia distributed Middle East countries lands, and then UK kept Palestine and it was promised to Arabs. You have to understand, UK promised to Arabs in 1918, but they promised Palestine in 1917 home country for Jew. Arabs are, the reason behind this, Arabs were against to Ottoman Empire. They want their own identity and country. They don't want to be part of Ottoman Empire. So here UK has divided Arab and Jew in 2 years. 1917 for Jews they promised, 1918 for Arabs they promised, and here they created a point of conflict. Why UK do this divide and rule policy? Even after that, the migration of Jew continued. 30% of population rise in Palestine. At the time, as we expect that Jews were always intellects, they brought land, evicting of local Palestinian Arabs. That means they are good in knowledge, so they earn money. This money given to Arabs and bought land. So logically, they are clearing Arabs' land, and Arabs' land is decreasing, Jews' land increasing, so that the population increasing. So at this point, Jews strategically purchasing the lands to clear Palestine Arabs. Later, in 1936, Arabs were against British mandate. So let's see, what is this British mandate? In 1936, the British has given a mandate in 1918 itself. Later, Arab has taken a wrong cross path with British. The mandate of Palestine is British mandate. This region is Syria, this is Iraq, and this is Arabia. These are the locations they shared after World War I. Mandate for Palestine in April 1920 showing the boundaries of the land which the Jewish national home was to be reconstituted in this region. So Jewish militias formed and helped British as it was promised Jewish national home. So Jewish military is helping British now. And Jewish migration restricted in militias of British. So you have to understand, when Jews are helping British, but their migration restricted by British. In this way, British is now a kind of villain in perspective of Arab as well as Jews. And at the time the World War II has been started, World War II, during this period Holocaust has been happened, which is a Jewish genocide which is taken by Hitler in 1939. According to the stats, 4.2 million Jews killed in gas chambers, and this is the gas. Here they release poison gas, due to which they will die. Now let's see how Israel created finally. It is created under United Nations mandate in 1947. And this is the region. You can see the yellow region is Arab state and the orange region is Israel state. And this particular small white point is administered by United Nations. And this is the area where Jerusalem is located. This is how they have done equal division according to the population, 50%, 50%. But this is actually 44% of the land, 46% of the land have been divided. And rest of the land is given to Jerusalem, United Nations administration. So United Nations control Jerusalem because equal population settlement at this area. So to avoid occupation or war, United Nations took this location. And also there is another point where you can observe, this is Arab's land, this is Jews' land. How come a Christian can come to Jerusalem if it is not an open area and these two countries fighting for this? So that's the reason United Nations holded Jerusalem under their administration. Later, after 1 year, in 1948, full establishment of Israel happened. But it is not so long. Arab-Israel war has been started. At this point, Israel was attacked by Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and also Iraq, which is in this area, this location. So all these countries together attacked Israel, and Israel won the game. They won the war. After the war, they extended their boundaries to other locations. At this time, humanitarian crisis has been. Arab refugees from Israel migrated. There are totally 7 lakhs, and Gaza, also part of Egypt, were taken. West Bank is taken by Jordan. No Palestinian state left. That is, Gaza, which is previously belonged to Palestinian, taken by Egypt. West Bank, which is previously belonged to Palestine, taken by Jordan. And Israel have occupied some other locations, leaving Palestinian land. Here is the map after the war. Here, this location totally taken by Israel, and it is annexed territory of Jordan over West Bank, annexed territory of Egypt over Gaza Strip. Finally, Palestinians left with no land. In 1967, a 6-day war happened. That is, these countries, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, these countries tried out their luck on Israel again. But again, Israel won. They captured Golan Heights, which are located here, this Gaza, Sinai Peninsula, I will show you in the next page, and also West Bank. So, this Sinai Peninsula is Egypt's original land, which doesn't belong to Israel or Palestine. So, after this war, Israel tripled its area. Here, this is the Sinai Peninsula, which is belong to Egypt. And at this Sinai Peninsula, there is a border. Here is the Gaza Strip. The whole of this peninsula taken by Jerusalem. Sorry, they are taken by Jews. Here it is a Gulf of Suez, which is very important for Egypt for trades, commercial trade. Later that 1973, after this war, in 1973, Yom Kippur war has happened. This is called Yom Kippur because Egypt attacked on Israel festival. Yom Kippur is kind of a Christmas to Jews. At this time, they attacked on Jews when Israel is busy in festival. This time, Jordan given up. They don't want to fight. They don't want a war again with Israel. But Syria and Egypt again made a war to regain Sinai Peninsula. Here, Egypt wants Sinai Peninsula and Syria wants Golan Heights. So they are fighting with them. Israel suffered initially because they were busy in festival, so this war is unexpected. But they reflected back, but repulsed the attacks and led to talks with Egypt. So after this, they took peace talks with Egypt. After that, Jews, that is Israel, returned their land to Egypt again in 1978. This peninsula returned to Egypt, and Egypt recognized Israel as a state. Israel as a state. What is there with recognizing a country as a state? When a country recognizes another country as a state, it is an indication that trade is possible now, and each country will have their embassies in other country. Also, they help for further cooperation, employment opportunities, migration, so on. So, in case there is no recognition by Egypt and Israel states, they don't have any communication, any relation. But first step for that relation is the recognition by Egypt. So after that, Camp David, a US president guest house, Egypt President Anwar Sadat got assassinated due to recognition of Israel by Egypt. That is, someone assassinated Egypt president for recognizing Israel. Here you have to understand this grave political issue it is. Someone is behind, they want the war to be continued. Here, let me tell you one more interesting fact, that at the time, USA and Israel were very close, and Israel used to purchase defense weapons from USA. So Israel has enough weapons. So Israel pays USA. In this way, it is a business to USA. USA will get its business by selling ammunition. But these are the conspiracy theories. You have to get into this only if you are a student with political optional, that is PSIR. Only in this case you consider this fact that there is a conspiracy here. Other than PSIR, you don't need to think about politics because we have to study and we have to make analysis in neutral manner. Okay, let's get back into the topic. Later, Arab countries slowly made peace with Israel after Egypt, so there are no more wars. But so Arab-Israel conflict ended, but Palestine-Israel conflict not ended. That means ending of this issue is just beginning of this issue. At the time, Palestinian Liberation Organization (PLO) started independent struggle for Palestinians. Their tactics were political and terrorism. Terrorism in the sense they used to hijack majority of the flights. In 1970 to 1919, majority of the flights were hijacked. So, PLO founded in 1964. They demand freedom from Israel. They used to terrorist attacks on Israel embassy in foreign countries too, famous for hijacking planes. And the leader was Yasser Arafat. In 1987, the first Intifada happened. Here the word Intifada means people coming on road and expressing their rage. It's like they attacking every property in form of protest. They were famous for blasting buses. So Intifada means uprising in Arabic. So they used to have protest boycotts due to Israel's uprising on Palestinian. And it's a large-scale violence where 100 Jews were dead, 1,000 Palestinians were dead. And then the Hamas, a terrorist organization, raised. They were more nationalistic and more extremist. Unacceptance of existence of Israel is the motto of Hamas. Here you have to understand. Till this time, they used to have PLO, that's it, Palestine Liberation Organization. But Intifada started. After Intifada, this one is started because of rise of Hamas, because they are more nationalistic and extremist. Till then, PLO are demanding, but they are totally against to the idea of Israel. They are against to the existence of Israel. So, in the presence of U.S. President, Oslo Accords have been taken place. Oslo is a U.S. President's guest house in Norway. So, at that time, Israel Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat, PLO head, they both get Nobel Prize because they are ready for the peace. This peace is for 5 years, where in these 5 years, Palestine recognized as state by Israel. But again, they used to Palestine recognized as state. But still, after 5 years, they plan to settle down finally. So, this negotiation has been done secretly in Oslo, Norway, for which they got Nobel Prize too. This is a temporary agreement for 5 years. Later, new dialogue to be discussed. That is a final settlement for the issue. But later, after this agreement and after the recognition of Israel, Yitzhak Rabin, Yasser Arafat, both were assassinated in different occasions. PLO recognized State of Israel, as I said, Palestine Self-Government of West Bank and Gaza, and PLO recognized as Palestine representative, not terrorist organization. Yes, PLO as representative but not a terrorist organization. That means, according to that time, there is no terrorist against Israel. So let's see. In 1993, after Oslo Accords, you have to understand this is the region under Palestinian control. This is the region under joint Israel-Palestine control, and this is the region under control of Israel. Then in 2000, the Camp David II has taken place. In this Camp David II, as I said both the Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat were assassinated and the new leaders took place. At that point, these talks have been failed and peace process broken down, and this led to Second Intifada. So here Jew army marched Temple Mount in Jerusalem and they triggered violence. From that, 1,000 Jews have been died and 3,200 Palestinians were dead. They used to bomb buses, terrorist attacks used to win, and more violence. And this is the new normal in Israel now. After Intifada, change in thought and policy has taken place, and there was a rightward shift in the politics. Rightward shift, here you have to understand what is leftist and rightist ideologies. These ideologies will be explained in my podcast. So please follow my podcast, which is in description. Okay, after Intifada, rightward shift in politics taking place. They were more focusing on managing conflict, not solving it. They used to manage it, but they don't want to solve it. Withdrawal of forces from Gaza by Israel has been done. Hamas became more influential in 2006. They won election in Palestine. So see, till then PLO is one side and Hamas is opposite side, and this Hamas won the election. And PLO affiliated Fatah party is there. It didn't accept the Hamas government. After a few years, Hamas occupied Gaza forcefully. So it is like after election, in case any government if didn't accept the mandate, that's the thing happened here. Fatah party didn't accept the people's mandate. So there is a new complication now. Israel need to solve issue with Hamas and Fatah. There are two parties now, two representatives. And Hamas, which is an extremist organization, started rocket launches on Israel 2008, 12, 14 and as recent as 2021. Thousands were killed. And rise of violence against civilians by Hamas and Fatah gradually increased. So finally Israel blockaded Gaza strategically, which resulted in rise in unemployment in Gaza, low power production and less water supply. After these, the major issues that remained is Jerusalem, the holy site of Jews, Muslims and Christians. East part, Muslim population, west part, Jewish population. And in center, there is a holy shrine. Israel controls city and restricts access to holy sites, not intentionally accept as capital. Here you have to observe this location. Let me come to it. Yes, they are Palestinians at this point, and if they want to come to Jerusalem at this point, they have to cross Israel. That's an issue here. Israel has a control over the city and restricts access to holy sites. They can control it and internationally accepted as capital. Here is the issue. I will give a briefing of the issue in 2021. This is Jerusalem Temple Mount or Al-Aqsa Mosque. See, here there is a western wall. This traditional prayer site remains of second temple's outer supporting walls. Al-Aqsa Mosque is the third holiest place for Muslims. This western wall is holiest place for Jews. And also Dome of the Rock is holiest place for Jews. And this location is also important for Christians. From Golden Gate, the Gate of Mercy. So this is the location. At this location, this is Jewish location and this is a mosque where Muslims come. If you observe, there is no entry here. So the Muslims have to enter through this western wall or else through Golden Gate. Here, as this is a Jewish site, there will be a lot of Jewish people and lot of Jewish security. And if Muslims have to enter, that will trigger the issue. And this is how 2021 conflict has been started. So let's say India-Israel relations, because it could be important in mains or prelims. See, in bilateral ties, India and Israel have strategic ties between economic and military. Israel embassy in New Delhi, consulate in Mumbai, Bangalore, but Indian embassy have Tel Aviv. Let me tell something interesting about Tel Aviv. This Tel Aviv is a place which is internationally recognized capital, whereas Israel says Jerusalem as capital. But internationally, all the countries, to avoid issues in Jerusalem, they select Tel Aviv as the capital. Okay, and India-Israel relations established in 1992. Why so late? This is because Cold War politics. Israel with USA, India with Russia. So after Cold War faded, relations started. So this is some snippets, like important snippets. Israel is there. Their intelligence helped India during Kargil war, and the financial help through disaster relief during Bhuj earthquake are very crucial in building up the relation. After that, India is Israel's one of the premier trading partner, and this relation has been developing year by year. India stand on united stage on current Israel-Palestine issue. What India did? India encouraged peace, diplomatically remained neutral, partially supported the Palestinians. Why did they do? Why did India do so? It is because to tackle regional politics. Just imagine, actually, after the whole story, the Palestinian land occupied by Israel. Occupied by Israel. So after this occupation, if India supports Israel, India has occupied land by Kashmir and China, that is POK and accession. India internationally can't claim these locations, as India supports Israel, which forcefully took place from Palestinians. So India took diplomatic approach to not to support Israel and remain neutral during the issue, so that in future they can fight against these people. That's how the international politics works. This one also a brief that is important for people who are having PSAR as optional. Okay, India remain neutral and partially supported Palestine. Will this impact Indo-Israel relation, which is a big no, because India-Israel relations are very deep. These relations will be explained in my podcast. So please follow my podcast and my Telegram channel, which is mentioned in description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.